today's video, we are taking a peek at some of my orchids in bloom or spiking. We are now outside where I'm growing my orchids this time of the year. After a few days of normal, sunny and warm days, the rain has returned. Well, that is not so bad. After all, it saves me a lot of work in the garden. Besides, this is just a heavy shower, and the sun will come out in no time. What really bothers me is the drop in temperatures. It's quite cold. And it's not for me, basically, but because of the orchids. Well, these days I seem to be seeing the world only through the eyes of the orchids, worrying so much if it is warm or cold, and always on account of them. I must be getting crazy. Today we came out here just for a peek. I want to show you the only blooms I have out here at the moment. I recently mounted these two mini falls on a log of wood. It's cork tree, which I found on the timber that we buy for our fireplace, and they look rather well. And this is my epidendrum hybrid, which I bought as a miniature. Let's see if it is really miniature or if it will keep growing. But it's quite nice with its orange flowers, and it has been blooming for a while. Well, I have to run to the house. I guess a few drops of rain won't bite me. Entering here in this room, I sense a delightful fragrance. There are a few orchids that are wonderfully scented here, and luckily their scents go well together, for me anyway. This gorgeous orchid is a Miltonia. She is a hybrid, a cross between two different genera, namely Brassica and Miltonia. It is a very easy plant to grow, for me at least. This plant flowered for the first time last year. It had only one short spike with 2 lonely blooms. But this year it has 7 blooms, and the flowers are also larger than the first ones. And there is a second spike emerging and growing at the usual low speed. The fact that it is doing so much better than last year makes me very happy. The flowers are beautiful, very decorative, with an intense aroma. Very, very beautiful flowers, sort of velvety, especially in the lip. When the blooms open, the lip is white, but as the flower matures, the white turns sort of creamy or light yellow. The other petals, as well as the sepals, are reddish or maroon. This plant has performed very well for me. It has been a very well-behaved plant, not fussy at all, and very reliable. I'm so pleased with her. I have been giving her a bright place where she gets a bit of direct sun late afternoon. Apparently, the ideal temperatures are between 12 and 24 Celsius, which is between 53 and 75 Fahrenheit, which happen to be the temperature I can give her, which is great. I usually water her when the cork bark she's potted in is about to dry out. I'm very pleased, really, and intense sweet fragrance is so very pleasant. And here I have some of my most precious Phalaenopsis. This is Taida Snow crossed with Macassar. This hybrid, being a cross, it's not a complex one. It's much closer to a species than most hybrids. She just finished blooming last month, and although the spike is not extending yet, we can see that there is another spike growing on the other side. All in all, I'm so happy. As so many of us, I started Phalaenopsis and have killed a few in the past 2 years. The reason why it happened has to do with the fact that I have great difficulty in getting the fast wet-dry cycle that Phalaenopsis and other orchids need. My climate is humid, temperatures are not very high, and I do not heat my house on a regular basis during winter. But now I have realized what the problem is. I came up to the conclusion that for my environment, the best way to grow Phalaenopsis is keeping them bare-rooted. That way, I can water them whenever they look like they need it. A bit like we do with Vandas. Another Phalaenopsis, formerly named Cythera japonica. She has been in bloom for a long time. There is no signs of reblooming yet, but she's doing well. And she's growing a new leaf. I love her fragrance. I know not everybody does, but I do. I love it. And here I have Miltonia sunset as it came tagged. I bought this plant last September or October. She had 2 flowers then with 1 spike, and it lasted for a long time. And for my surprise, she's now putting another spike, which is so great. I'm so happy about it. It seems an easy plant to grow, and it seems that the flowers grow from the growths as they mature. The name on the tag of this plant is Miltonia sunset. However, I have my doubts. There are rumors of an hybrid that was created in 2011 by some nurseries in Europe, and which has in it 25% Miltoniopsis. And this hybrid should be called Milmiltonia sunset. Both hybrids, Miltonia sunset and Milmiltonia sunset, look morphological the same. And this whole situation is at least quite confusing. Anyway, I'll put down in the description below a few forums I looked upon this matter, if you are interested in it. This is a medium-sized Phalaenopsis complex hybrid. I bought her recently. She has beautiful blooming, nice veining on the petals and sepals. Just bought it for some color and also because I liked it. This Phalaenopsis is Sweet Memory, nicknamed Leodoro. It still has 2 blooms, but one of them is almost spent. However, both spikes are preparing to extend, so new blooms are to be expected in the near future. Now going to another room, we have here 2 Phalaenopsis complex hybrids. They are both in bloom. They both are recovery plants. They lost most of their roots last spring, and they recovered in water culture throughout the summer. Then they spent the winter in moss. They were doing very well at first, afterwards not so well. And then a few weeks ago I decided that they should go bare-rooted. And they are doing excellent. We can notice that the middle leaves show the setback they had, being smaller than the first ones. However, the newer leaves are getting larger already, showing the recovery these plants are having. let me show you my Ascocentrum pulacio. I mentioned previously that she had 2 spikes, but that's not exactly true. In fact, she has 4 spikes. Isn't that great? And this is it for today. I want to wish you an excellent weekend, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.